I saw people outside, I thought I was sod who'd forgotten the key again. We've done that before in this hall. Thanks for the reception, because the wave of emotion is absolutely tremendous. And I actually think politics is about emotion. Maybe in recent times we haven't been able to express that properly in the way we should have done. The first meeting where we expect 100, maybe maximum, that's a great attendance, 500 to 1,000 turn up, it's unbelievable. And you realise, I think we also have to realise then, that something was moving, the earth was beginning to move underneath our feet. And then what was interesting is that people weren't just coming up to spectate, they were coming in to participate. And the common theme was that unity around anti-austerity. People were sharing their experiences about what austerity meant to them. It was moving because people were coming along absolutely determined now not to take it anymore. People had had enough. And what Jeremy's campaign has done is given us an organisational form in which we can now mobilise against austerity. What's going to happen now at the end of this conference, Jeremy's going to go on the stomp again right around the country, and a number of us are. And the idea will be that, yes, we'll go back to the rallies, etc., but it won't be this time, obviously, to elect a leader. It will be to engage in a real discussion about what austerity means, and then what organisational forms we need to combat austerity within our own communities. So each of us now have a responsibility on our shoulders to recognise that we have a role to play in this. And that means when we go back to our constituencies and our communities, we start gathering people together to organise our own meetings to talk about how we battle against austerity within our own communities, not just nationally. And the way we do it is the traditional methods in all we do. If it is austerity as a result of cuts in wages or threats to jobs or privatisation or whatever, you know as well as I do now that's momentum building within the unions to resist. So our job, therefore, is when individual groups of workers want to take action, we automatically support. There is no standing on the sidelines anymore, because that's the tactic the establishment uses. Divide and rule. Divide young people from older people. Divide workers in one sector from another. Divide public sector workers from private sector workers. All of it is about division. It's about dividing men from women and different ethnic minorities as well. So we've got to recognise now there is one struggle, but we'll have many aspects. And the other aspect, obviously, is direct action. I get into trouble with the media on this one. But the reality is that people want to take action. If in a trade union, it will be campaigns and industrial action. If it's in the wider community, you know as well as I do, that the West form is getting out on the streets and, if necessary, getting into the occupations. Put to me in interview after interview and all the rest of it is that isn't this against the law? We want peaceful, non-violent, direct action so that we can show the wider community the opportunity for them to participate. And again, the range of issues are absolutely enormous. I just give some examples. I don't know what it's like in your community, but the people at the moment who are really on the edge are people with disabilities. Absolutely. Their cuts, they're grinding down. Disabled People Against the Cuts, I was at their founding conference a few years ago. They've launched the disability movement again in this country. What do? They're out in the street. Yeah, they're doing representations on individual cases, but they're out in the streets. They're the ones who occupy the Atos offices so frequently the company had to give up the contract. There are others who are isolated on their own, not part, we think, of the normal trade union and labour movement. I'll give you some examples. One group is carers within our society. Carers are as much workers as anyone else. We need to give them the opportunity to come together collectively to to participate in this anti-austerity struggle, because at the moment they're being picked off individually. But there are others in our community as well, absolutely isolated. And they're isolated because they're in the detention centres around the country. We've been campaigning for years now to expose what's happening in the detention centres, and thanks to the work of some of our comrades here from the Crossroads and elsewhere, what's happened now, we've got the story out there about the intimidation, the brutality and the sexual violence that has gone on. There are people who are isolated like that we've got to join in solidarity with. It might not be popular at the moment, it might be difficult, but again we just need those three things. Absolute determination now. The time has come. This is the time. Absolute determination. Courage. Sometimes you need a bit of courage. Sometimes you're on your own. You just have to stand up and basically say you're not taking it anymore. But the final thing is, I repeat time and time again, it's the secret we discovered 2 centuries ago in the Industrial Revolution workshops on the fields. It was a secret. That united we're strong. It was the secret of solidarity. We put it on our banners. Unity is strength. The workers united will never be defeated. We need determination, courage, but above all else now, solidarity. Solidarity.
We're seeing in John and Jeremy not just socialism coming back to the fore in Britain, but we're probably seeing new socialist icons being created before our eyes. Thank you very much, John. That's just an amazing speech. Thank you.